out harvesting today, and besides the cherries and the peas and the carrots and the beet greens and the kale and the zucchini and even more, I can't help but harvest my wild herbs. And we happen to have quite a lot of wild St. John's wort growing on our property. Some people think this is a noxious weed, but in reality, St. John's wort has a lot of medicinal properties. It's actually a very good nervine. One of the things I love it for is for topical use for back pain. You can make an infused oil with it that's just lovely, and I'll talk about that pretty soon too. But right now we're going to tincture it. You might recall that a few years ago St. John's wort developed a reputation for being an antidepressant herb. And indeed, it can enhance your mood and cheer you up and make you feel better, especially through the dark days of winter. St. John's wort tends to bloom right around the summer solstice, so it is a premier summertime herb, and many herbalists believe that it soaks up the sun, and when you take the tincture during the winter time, you're getting the rays of the sun in your body. I know that's a little woo-woo, but in reality, I do believe that there's some truth to that. And besides the chemicals in St. John's wort, the hypericin and the other excellent, amazing chemicals that work together that it contains, does help your mood. Now, you shouldn't take St. John's wort internally if you are on SSRIs or other mental health kinds of medications. You definitely want to talk to your doctor and do your research before you take St. John's wort. But besides that, it's actually a very, very safe herb. So the way you want to tincture your St. John's wort is you don't want the long stem. And it's okay to have some stems in there, but the powerful bits of the plant are the leaves and especially the blossoms. The blossoms and the little buds, which you can see are barely starting to open here. So I've got flowers and buds and leaves and some small stems, not many. They're going to contain the medicinal powerhouses of the herb. And I'm going to take my St. John's wort and I am going to loosely fill this jar with the herbal matter. I'm just going to chop it just a little bit. It helps release some of the chemical constituents. And I'll tell you, the hypericin that is contained in the flowers is such an important, it's the vital part of the medicinal properties of this herb, actually. But it's going to turn this tincture a beautiful red color. In fact, when you harvest your fresh St. John's wort, if you run your fingers through the flowers, it will turn your finger red or reddish purple. And that's a sign that the hypericin is very strong in the plant, and it's what you want to see. Okay? So we're just going to go ahead and keep filling this jar until it's quite full. Another thing you can use this tincture for, besides internal use, it's really good for a liniment. It helps heal wounds very fast, and especially burns. St. John's wort is excellent for burns, but I like to put it in oil for that and rub it on. Although you don't want to put oil on burns necessarily, but in terms of a tincture that dries very quickly, it's very, very good for healing wounds. So you can use it as a liniment. All right, we're getting our jar filled. This is going to be a really nice tincture, I think. Okay. See, I'm packing them in there not tightly. I don't want them tightly packed. One of the things that's important when you're tincturing herbs through the maceration method, which is what this is you want them to have some room to move around in the menstruum. The menstruum is the liquid that we're going to use to extract the medicinal properties. And that menstruum that we're going to use for tinctures is always going to be some kind of an alcohol. Okay, I prefer 80 proof or above for most herbs. But when I'm dealing with fresh herbs, for most tinctures, 80 proof is just fine. But for fresh herbs, I like to use a higher proof alcohol, 100 proof to, some herbalists like to use 195, but I think the highest I can get here in Idaho is 151, at least from the stores that I've been in, and I think that's just fine for what we're doing here. So we are going to use a higher proof alcohol, and that is because 80 proof alcohol, which I normally love, is 40% alcohol and 60% water, right? So when you use fresh plant material in your tincture, you're getting some moisture in there, and you don't, you have to kind of offset that extra moisture with a little bit of extra alcohol. You can get all mathematical with this and do all these standardizations for your home tincture making, but you really don't have to. I'm really big on the folk method, and this is what I use. In fact, if you would like a complete home medicine making course that will give you the confidence to become a home herbalist, and basically take charge of your life, get rid of the over-the-counter medications. I have a course. It's called the Confident Herbalist. I'll leave a link in the show notes. And I have a tribe, okay? It's a membership tribe. It's called the Confident Herbal Tribe. And for that, it's not a long course. It's herbal lessons in bite-sized pieces with student support. So they're in a Facebook group with me. I get on there every single week, and I'm on there every day actually, answering questions and helping people get started on their herbal journey. So whether you're a student of the course or whether you're in the herbal tribe, the student group is for my students. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. And if you're interested in taking your herbal knowledge to the next level, this is a great place to start. All right, it's a good idea. Books are good. You can get some really great beginning herbal books out there. But I like to, once you're ready for a course, take a course from somebody you feel very comfortable with and who you follow. And you can also check out my blog at healingharvesthomestead.com. I've got a ton of herbal articles on there. I'm just finishing up this 100 proof alcohol in my tincture. I don't drink this stuff. It's for medicinal use only. This is a 151 proof, so it's going to be quite strong. But I do buy plenty of vodka because I do make a lot of tinctures for people in my neighborhood, my family, my friends, and I like to have my tinctures on hand in our storeroom for when we need them. I think I have tinctures in there for just about all kinds of maladies that you can imagine. I'm going to put a label on this. I'm going to put the date that I picked the flowers, where I picked the flowers, and I'm going to mention that it's I filled the jar completely. That you can see the plants do have room to move around in there. There's plenty of room. And I'm going to let that sit, and it's going to turn bright red, and it's going to be lovely. Oh, in fact, hold on, I'm going to go get a tincture that's been tincturing. John's Wort Tincture that's been tincturing for about a week now, and you can see it's very, very red, and that's what you want. And the length of time you're going to let this tincture is 4 to 6 weeks, okay? Since it's in alcohol, it can actually be in there for quite some time because the alcohol tends to preserve the fresh herb. But 4 to 6 weeks, the plant should be spent, and you can look at it and kind of tell, okay, there's nothing more coming out of that plant. It's done. And then what you do is you strain off the plant material and you bottle up your liquid tincture, and you've got yourself a medicinal solution for some problems you might have, or for your health, or for your happiness in this case. All right, enjoy your tincture making, and if you have questions, leave them below, and I'm happy to answer them. And don't forget to subscribe, and also visit healingharvesthomestead.com for more herbal articles, and consider taking my course or joining the tribe.